Hi, everyone. Welcome to Crossing the Threshold with leadership coaches James Wilson Jr. and JC Fowler, a podcast for mission-driven leaders navigating what's next in life and leadership without losing what matters most.
What's something leaders carry alone that they should probably bring to the team sooner?
What's something leaders carry that they should probably bring to the team sooner? That they don't know the answer to a problem. Like just to say, hey, I don't know. Not like I don't know and I'm abdicating responsibility, but man, I feel like we don't give people any clarity so often. Like our team just sits in the dark because the leader isn't willing to just say, hey, I don't know.
Yeah.
What's it for you?
You know what? As you said it, I kind of thought of, it's probably similar. It's the fear under the decision. It's really, we often carry this fear. We bring the plan, but we never bring the pressure. Now, again, you have to kind of navigate. We bring the strategy, but not really the concern, like what actually matters most. And it's not about having a better plan as much as it's about telling the truth sooner. So I think you're on it, man. Well, listen, this is James Wilson Jr. and I'm here with my man JC Fowler. We're at Crossing the Threshold Leadership, and so last episode we said teamwork breaks down when the work is unclear and the worry is unnamed. Today is about one simple reset busy leaders can use without adding more meetings or overcomplicating the team to move toward shared responsibility. Because if the work is unclear, the leader becomes the bottleneck. If the worry is unnamed, it leaks into control, resentment, and avoidance. Let's go there today.
Yeah, let's do it. That's why we need a teamwork reset.
Yeah.
And let me just encourage some leaders out there, some team leads, and this also applies if you don't lead a team, but you're just in relationship. This will be really helpful. Maintenance, the ongoing building and developing of a team and the team dynamic is important. But I'm a strong believer that we need these point in times where we do a reset.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where we say, hey, let's come to the table. We've been doing this, hopefully, or not.
Yeah.
And let's do a reset. So here's a teamwork reset. When a team is suffering, or even just we're a big fan of quarterly, twice a year, to really sit down and engage. And you can pull these out anytime.
I think you're right, man. Because you're right. It's not just suffering. It is actually like we just want to make sure we're aligned. We just make sure we're going in the same direction. That's good, man.
What I found is that some of the teams and organizations that we've been able to add the most value to aren't the unhealthiest.
That's right.
They're the ones that are pretty healthy. Yeah. I was talking with an organization the other day, super awesome mission, incredible leaders, 7 years old, just so fun.
Yeah.
And, I was talking about workshop and I said, hey, we could do a 2-hour workshop. What we really like to do is a 4-hour workshop. It's like a half day, but that's a lot for people sometimes.
It is.
And she was like, oh, no. We do a half day workshop once a month for team development.
Brilliant.
And so I could have thought, oh, they're definitely not going to hire us.
Yeah, because they already have things, right.
And instead it was we want to bring in that value and that dynamic. And so it's like, wait a second.
That's good.
The healthier get healthier. It's like the Matthew principle or something, right?
That's good, man. That's
more
good.
Get more.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're rooting for you no matter where you are.
Okay, go for it.
All right, here are these 4 questions about this teamwork reset. Number 1, it's about the work. Simple. What work needs to get done? What work needs to get done? You'd ask that question. Then you move a little deeper into worry. What concern, pressure, risk, or tension needs to be named? What are we carrying underneath this that needs to be named? Question for the work, question for the worry. And then we can move into wisdom. Yes. We'll unpack this more.
That's good.
But here's the question. What perspective, experience, or insight do we need in the room? What perspective, experience, or insight do we need in the room? And then finally, we have to move to ownership. Who owns the next step? And that is the simplest question, but it might be the one that is most often ignored.
Yeah, that's hard.
Because it seems so obvious. Well, we just talked about it. Please clarify. We'll dig into it. So let's start with name the work. A lot of teamwork tension isn't personal. It actually has nothing to do with the interpersonal dynamics. It's simply because of unclear Work, it's
Right.
not that people are always lazy, resistant, or careless. Sometimes they're just unclear.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not a great dancer. I'm willing to dance.
All right. All right.
But you got two people dancing and you're stepping on each other's toes, and it's not
Yeah.
because you don't like each other.
Right.
You guys are dancing together.
We like each other.
You just don't know where you're supposed to step next, right?
And we could be doing to that. I love that analogy of the dance because we could be doing two separate dances to the same tune.
I thought we were, but I thought, right.
Yep.
Let's get clear. So name the work. Here's, dig a little deeper into the name the work questions. What are we trying to accomplish? That is kind of like a higher level look, maybe like a 15,000 foot view look, you know, of like, hey, what are we actually trying to accomplish? I saw a team employ this question the other day, and it totally changed the details of what they were planning.
I love it.
Everyone went, oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, we're trying to accomplish these three things. Oh, that's where we're trying to go. Now the work is clear. Which direction are we headed?
So, and maybe another way of putting that same question is, what's the problem we're trying to solve?
Yes.
Right? Like we got, this solution and that solution. I'm an idea guy. It's like, let's do this, let's do that.
Right.
But when we start kind of peeling back the layers, it's like, well, what are we actually trying to solve here? Yeah.
I love it. You taught me this one. What does done look like? I got to be honest. I skipped this a lot in my own leadership because I let it live in my head.
Yeah. Yep.
You know?
Yep.
What does done look like? And then kind of with that is what will get in the way of this getting done?
Yeah. That's so
Or,
good.
or maybe
The obstacle. Yeah.
what do we need to get this done? Like, hey, you asked me to do this thing, but I don't actually have the authority to tell Susan about, or I don't have the resource to, or am I allowed to make
Yeah.
that purchase?
That's
or
right.
whatever.
Or you already have me tasked with doing 5 other things, and doing this thing is going to take a lot more time than we anticipated.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
good,
then
man.
what decisions need to be made? That's like, again, that can be the authority bottleneck of, do I have the authority to make that decision? Should we make that decision together? So we need some
Yeah.
time to think about that
Yeah.
decision.
Yeah.
'Cause as we go through this work,
Yep.
like, oh, hey, go, I want you to pick a bunch of paints and then give it to the supplier. Like, okay, do I pick the paint, or, are we going to come back? Anyway, what decisions need to be made? So
Yeah.
what are we actually trying to accomplish? What does done look like? What will get in the way, or what do we need to get it done? And what decisions need to be made? I'm guilty of this. Leaders often delegate tasks, but not outcomes. Hey, here's what the finished product looks like. Just coaching with someone last night, and they made this slideshow, and I told them, here's the information we need on the slideshow, got the slideshow back, and it was not ready to be presented to the client.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, well, did they know the outcome? Did they know it was supposed to be aesthetically
They know the
pleasing?
outcome.
Did they know?
Right,
Whatever.
right.
It lived in your head.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard someone say this is essentially, I forgot who it was, but it's like a 360 review, right? When you tell someone to say, hey, all right, we've got this event coming up, and I want you to get the hot dogs. Had this happen to me once before. What kind of hot dogs? Because we've got a group of people here who don't eat pork. Or we've got a group of people here who do eat this. So what kind of hot dogs do we need? And are they, and if we get these longer hot dogs, then we need to make sure we got buns for it. Are these people eat buns? Do we need right? So you really want to, again, as leaders, we know things need to get done, but we need to make sure that as we're working with the team, that we really spend a little time on navigating, okay, what's the actual outcome? And the outcome is, hey, I just want to make sure that everybody gets a small hot dog that's safe enough, that with little condiments, with little bread, and here's our budget, by the way, and this, so spending a little time, a little bit extra time to now be able to execute well.
That is when the work is unclear. You just expressed it. The worry multiplies.
That's it.
Clarity is kindness. Obviously, deliver it in a kind way, but clarity is great. Once the work is clear, we still have to ask what's underneath it.
Yeah.
And that, I think in that hot dog example, What we're going to talk about next enables us to go, well, what kind of hot dog? Rather than just stressing out. And then I totally
Dude, it's so real. So we go from naming the work to now we have to also name the worry. And I think that as leaders, we are often avoiding of this because we spend so much time executing, and it's important to execute. It's important to get things done, but we've got to understand that there's some fears. Like this, the hot dog example. If you've got folks who are allergic to those things, they want to be pleasing. Here's the truth, man. Nobody wants to be rejected. Hey, if you're listening to this right now, you're probably carrying a lot at work. We get it. We know about the 3 a.m. ceiling stare, wondering how you're going to get it all done, or wondering if it's all even worth it anymore.
And that doesn't make you a bad leader. It just means that you've hit a threshold. That's why we're opening up 5 spots for the 70-minute Leadership Momentum Accelerator. In just over an hour, we'll pinpoint your exact sticking point, map out a custom 30-day roadmap to help you break that bottleneck, and give you direct text and voice access to both of us for a full month to ensure you get the traction you need.
And here's the kicker. We know that time is your greatest asset, so we went out of our way to track down our own partners, and we built a custom bonus stack worth hundreds of dollars to help you reclaim some of that bandwidth and to get you to the next level. And we can't go through everything here, but it's waiting for you in the link.
Normally, a package like this costs well over $2,000. But check it out. For this summer, we're letting 5 leaders step through the door for just $398. Yeah, you heard that right, just $398. And if you still aren't sure after all that, it's backed by our heartbeat guarantee. If you follow the roadmap and at the end of the 30 days, you wouldn't do it all again in a heartbeat, we'll hand you your money back.
Listen, we get it, and we're rooting for you, and we want you to win. Click the link in the show notes to get started, or go to cttleadership.com to find out more.
Right.
So I'm not going to speak up and say, hey, I'm allergic to this hot dog. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm either not going to eat it or I'm going to eat it and suffer through it.
I just didn't come.
That's
well, why not? I'm allergic to the hot dog.
I'm allergic to hot dog.
Why didn't you say anything? I didn't feel comfortable.
Okay, so let's go here. So not every worry gets to drive the decision, but every important worry needs to be heard. This is people. So again, that everyone on your team making sure that they have a voice. Now, it's not that everybody's voice has the same level of value or the same level of volume, but you have to make sure that you're hearing what's underneath this. What's driving this? Again, we talked about it in the last episode. All of this stuff would work if we were machines,
right.
But we're people.
Easy. Right.
And people have worries. So the question I would be asking under this is, what are we carrying with this? Whatever this is, what are we carrying with this decision that we've not yet named? What are we carrying with this marriage that we have not named yet? What are we carrying with this new client? Oh gosh, that we have not named yet, right? What are we carrying? And I think you have to get under there. And so this one is so important because every time there's demands, there's also pressure and worry that come with it. And so one of the guardrails I would say for this is naming worry is not emotional dumping, though. And this is why some leaders get really afraid of it, because we just assume, oh gosh, here we go.
I'm not a therapist.
I'm not a therapist. I don't need to do this. And so the goal isn't emotional overflow. The goal is really to get clear on shared responsibility. Why is this bothering you so much?
I like a thought around how to name the worry.
Mm-hmm.
Because like these smaller worries will come up, and if there's a bigger worry, then I would say, I'm just thinking out loud here. I would say bring the emotional weight with it. Like let that show and breathe.
Yes.
I think sometimes we can be, you've been called a contrarian.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which you have a gift of asking good questions, which can be like naming worries in a way of like, well, what about this? What's going to happen if this? And I think sometimes I've experienced people who will name a worry this way. Well, let's say, what if no one comes to the event? And everyone's like, man, we're all excited about the event. Like, yeah, that's a realistic possibility.
But you're just a killjoy. Yeah.
Or, hey, okay, so what if no one comes to the event? where do we, are we okay with that? Where do we go from here? How do we recover from that?
Yeah.
Like, that's like, oh, okay. So you have a worry that no one comes, and someone else might be thinking, wow, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
But if it's so emotionally charged, if it's outsized almost, then people won't even want to identify with it, even if they were thinking it, because they don't want to identify with what feels like a discrepancy in kind of like reality and emotional reality.
Yeah. Nobody wants to be rejected, right? Like, I want to be at the table just as much as everybody else does. So I'm going to maneuver and navigate things to try to be at the table. And so if we now think through not just more stages, because on stages, people just talk to you. But if we think through, what does it look like to sit at the table?
Yeah.
Now
circle,
it's like,
circle.
Oh, okay. Now I've got to give some room, some voice, whatever. And also just saying, okay, this person has worry, but I have worry too. So what that person might have been naming is that, man, we don't have enough people who are going to come to this event. What I'm thinking in my brain, the reason why I might have reacted as a leader to say, oh no, let's not be a Debbie Downer, is that I'm afraid I'm not going to move the mission forward. So that's my worry. But we have to, here's where I'm leading in.
Ooh.
Worry named well becomes wisdom.
Yes.
Right? But worry unnamed becomes control, avoidance, resentment, or shutdown. And even what we're pointing to is that worry needs to have a place to go. And it doesn't need to be in the team all the time. You may need a separate team to actually name that worry. And we're going to get there in a little bit. But you got to have a place to actually say, hey, here's what I'm carrying.
I really like, as you said that, I thought, wow, someone having the courage to name their worry, if we're paying attention, can help us surface our own.
Yeah.
Because it leaks, whether or not you're like, oh, I'm afraid, I'm going to be a failure. And then we get to say, no, this is an experiment. This is an initiative. We're placing a bet. We're not going all in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So what happens is, in my mind, in my heart, my emotional sensor, I'm raising the stakes for something that I actually haven't addressed or recognized that, I made this because if we don't have this event, I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, I'm a failure. But that's not what's happening here. We're just trying to figure it out.
Dude, I got a friend of ours sent me a podcast the other day, and it was about self-talk. And I was like,
oh boy,
lame. I'm not listening to that. This is some self-help. This don't fit in my, even like Christian worldview. God bless everybody, but I'm I don't know. And I want to read and listen from all different sorts of people, but I was like, nah, I ain't doing it. But I said, you know what? He's a good friend.
Incredible. Yep.
Matt. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna listen to it for him. Dude, I listened to it. It was amazing. It was awesome, but here's what they said, that, and maybe tie the bow on the worry conversation, is to change. You can help, and I think you can do this better if you talk it out loud. But you can change the conversation in your head or in the room if you say, you name the worry. What if? And then I think the people around you can help turn it to, well, even if. What if?
Oh, come on.
Even if.
Come on.
I said,
come
thank
on.
you, Matt.
Come on.
For that gold.
Dude, because it's so powerful that the whole idea is we don't want to be rejected. We actually have a desire to do meaningful work with people. And so when you say what if, you're surfacing something like, oh my gosh, I'm terrified, I'm scared, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. And someone says, nah. Even if.
Oh, thank
I'm
goodness.
with you. Dude, I'm getting chills as we talk about it. Even if this happens, I'm still with you.
That's a great segue.
Woo!
So
That's good,
once the worry is named, the next question is, what wisdom is already in the room?
Yeah. Let's go there, because I think that this is probably one of those untapped gems or untapped spaces where, as leaders, we can be flying through things and forget about this, that teams don't just exist to divide tasks. They actually exist to multiply perspective.
Ooh.
There is some gold on the teams that you're on. So when people come to me,
You got a mind for gold.
you got a mind for it, right? Okay. So when folks come and we're sitting on teams or we're working with an organization, and when they're like, oh, I need to change this, nah, what if you've got some wisdom in the seats that are already occupied?
I'm so glad you said that. And so much of our coaching evolves into team discussion.
Yep.
Because I'm like, we don't have all the voices in the room. And I'm to one-on-one coaching, amazing, but I'm like, there's almost always a step where, hey, this
Yeah.
conversation needs to happen.
Yeah.
I didn't put that together.
Man, on a very practical level, I remember talking to somebody, and we were talking about, gosh, what were we talking about? Something about, he was trying to share with me something, and I share with him like, hey, I need you to understand, I fully get what you're talking about. I got a master's degree. I feel like I'm pretty smart, but I need my wife here to help me make this decision.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, dude, it was my doctor. Oh my gosh, it's so terrible. I said, hey, doc, listen, I know I sound clueless right now, but my wife asks some really good questions in these moments, and I'm fully capable of navigating that. But she's got this additional wisdom. She's got something where it's like, oh, she can ask the question. It's like, that's what we needed. And so it's important, right, to know who's on my team and to actually be able to invite those voices to be on the team.
And you had to overcome what I think a lot of us feel is, well, I don't want to look dumb.
Yep.
Or,
Yep.
well, I'm supposed to have the answers.
Yep.
Or I'm somebody, and so that's so critical.
So let me give you this for free. And I know I don't want to run out of time, but I was thinking about this, and this was after the notes. But if you're going to find wisdom, 3 things I want you to focus on: invite, amplify, share. Right? So you want to invite other perspectives to the table. There's certain perspectives and certain voices that you want to amplify because they actually surface some things that say, oh, this actually really matters. Hey, that's a good point. Let's come back to such and such because what they said really matters, right? So you invite new perspectives, you amplify certain voices. And then I love this because this is some of the work we're doing. It's also now we want to share some of this. Like shared leadership for me is a whole nother podcast and a whole nother space. But we sometimes as leaders get this really thing. It's the great man theory, right?
Yeah.
We just assume I got to be the guy, I got to be the woman. And the truth is you can actually share some of this responsibility for finding wisdom, but you've got to build a culture for it.
It's like the antithesis of teamwork.
That's it.
Great man theory.
So
All right, give us a few questions.
Couple questions. Here it is. Who sees something I do not see or has the context I don't have? Right? This is that perspective piece.
For finding wisdom, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Who is closer to the people affected by this?
I love that question.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
I think I know everything.
We all do.
I'm like, oh no, I know. Mm-hmm. Like, when's the last time? Like, you are 6 levels above in the org chart. You're not even in customer service, but you think you know what the customer is thinking.
Yep.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
And leaders, we do that. We try to keep our hands on the pulse as best as we can.
Which is
but
great.
there is a sense that you might be missing some things.
Yeah. Don't let the org chart get in the way of
There it is.
knowing what's what.
And those are the voices you got to amplify, right? So, and then the other question would be, who has experience that could help us make a better decision? This is the conversation where people are like, well, why do we bring outside consultants? Why do we bring in these folks? Well, because they've got some experience, but also there's that guest speaker effect.
Yeah.
There's that effect of like, I've been telling my daughters to do a certain thing for the last year. Bring in somebody else. JC may say the same thing. And they're like, oh, Dad, did you hear what JC said?
What?
I mean, I've only said that for the last year, right? But it's this idea that sometimes we can, as leaders, be proactive by bringing them in and helping us make that decision. So,
Hey, let me get super real quick.
go for it. Mm-hmm.
So a buddy of ours, his brother passed away recently.
Yeah, wow, yeah.
And he was a friend of mine too, but this is one of my childhood best friends. And we were in this men's small group. He couldn't make it. He was out of town.
Wow.
And everyone is thinking, what do we do for him? How do we talk to him?
Yeah.
What do we say?
Yeah.
What's going on? And I lost a brother too.
Yep.
And I said, well, I think it would be helpful to, not that I have all the answers, but to talk to someone who has that same experience, what helped them.
That's powerful.
Because you can't replace that experience.
Nope.
Now you can there's methods and tactics and the most important part was showing up, but there is some ways that we could do that well. But that was like, wow.
That's powerful, man.
Okay, I have this experience that's pretty unique. Like you talk about in your work, kind of some of the lane that you run in is, I've experienced a ton of different transitions.
Yep.
So when I'm working with somebody and I'm like, oh, you need to talk to my partner, James, because he knows about transitions.
Yeah.
I got theory, And that's the point we were talking about. How do you have authority in something? Probably because you've experienced it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's so good, man.
Critical.
If you only use your team for execution, don't be surprised when they stop bringing their wisdom.
Why is nobody saying anything? You didn't ask them.
You didn't ask them. Yeah. They got experience that you're not listening to. Some leaders say they want a team, but then they dictate all the decisions. And so we want to kind of lean into this thought that embracing conflict, because we don't even have time to get into all
Right,
this,
but we will.
But embracing conflict is key, not just to real relationships, but it's also critical for great decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to name the work, name the worry, find the wisdom, and then lastly, we got to turn to ownership. We got to clarify the owner. A great conversation, one that is real and raw and clear and honest, and utilize the wisdom of all the people in the room.
That's good.
Still needs to lead to a clear next step if we're actually going to experience momentum and growth. And so after you name the work, worry, and find the wisdom, you got to ask, who owns the next step? A couple ways to say that. Who's responsible? And I like even who should be responsible.
Yeah, that's good.
Who should be responsible for this?
Who should be?
Because then you start to think about, oh, Sarah is so good at that.
Yeah.
Oh, James is natural. Like, he loves to. Now instead of just like, well, that's what your job description says.
Yeah.
Or, well, we just ask you to do things. Or who should be responsible? Who's carrying the most right now? And great. So clarify the owner.
Yeah.
What needs to happen next? What needs to happen next? We worked with a consultant a while back at the church, and he gave us this language that was so sticky. He said, whose puppy is that? He said, because, if you don't take care of a puppy, that puppy makes a mess everywhere, and nobody wants a lost puppy, and puppies are loud and make noise. And, and so we'd be like, whose puppy is that?
Whose
like, oh, that's
puppy
my
is
puppy.
that?
Like,
Wow.
okay, I'm going to take care of that puppy. I'm going to make sure that puppy's fed.
Yeah.
Make sure that puppy gets to where it needs to go.
Oh, that's so good.
It's like, wow, it's so silly, but so helpful. And then this is sort of a close the loop question. When will we check back in? It's kind of like when it can either be when do we want this done by, right?
Yep.
So a deadline kind of deal,
Yep.
but even it doesn't have to get done. It's more like, when will we check back in on the progress?
Right.
Some of those, we operate better when we have some sort of urgency, and I don't mean an unhealthy urgency, but like, oh, here's the deadline, here's the benchmark. Not even for done, like for staging the process.
We're wired like that. I mean, we're
Right.
like we've talked about. We're human beings, and nothing got me ready for nothing got me ready more for marriage than being married. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just something shifted in me where I was like, oh, here's my deadline. We in there, like, we're getting married. This is our day. Okay, now I got to just do it.
It's a forcing function.
Force function. That's it.
I love that's so helpful. So this is where teamwork turns into execution. If no one owns the step, leaders, you probably experienced this. All the weight goes back to you.
Yep.
Which can be heavy, and then you end up frustrated. And you're like, oh, but it might have just been because you weren't clear. Guilty. If the team isn't clear about who owns it, check it out. There's a good chance that no one does.
Oh man, everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Nobody is
doing it. Yeah.
Oh man, that's so good.
And that's
man.
like, so many times people want to rush out of a meeting. I think the last 5 minutes of a meeting are so critical.
Yep.
Or a conversation, whatever.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
hey, here's what I heard.
Yep.
Here's what you heard.
Yep.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Yep.
That's like working through. And then, all right, you're going to do that. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard a leader tell me, mentoring me once, and it was just like, James, you do a great job of leading these meetings. You do a great job of, you're there for people. You give people psychological safety. You do all of this great stuff. What's often missing is the shared expectations. Like, at the end of the day, they walk out not quite knowing, we had a good talk, but what was this about again?
Yeah.
And what do I need to do? And that comes again from, sometimes there's corrective conversations. Sometimes there's other conversation that we just need to say, okay, you know what? Here is where we're going. And at the heartbeat of that is getting back to where we started, man. It's this whole purpose of teamwork is not just so that we can cause more friction, but it's actually so that we can move things forward. Yeah, man. So Let's go ahead and land the plane, y'all. Crossing the threshold this week. What I want you to do this week, I want you to run one teamwork reset. So whether you are leading a large organization or it's an organization of just you and your significant other or you and your best friend, I want you to have this real conversation. Here's what it says. Ask, what's the work, right? What work needs to move forward? Who needs to be cleaning the dishes? Right? Worry. What concerns need to be named? Wisdom. What perspective do we need in the room? And then ownership is who owns the next step. We probably should have just put this in there. Whose puppy is this? So yeah, y'all. One conversation this week. I don't want you to feel like you've got to do it all, but do this one thing, one conversation, and think about these 4 words: work, worry, wisdom, owner. You don't build a team by carrying everything better. You build a team by learning what should not be carried alone.
Yeah. Teamwork is hard work, but man, is it worth it. It is like the untapped superpower. Everyone wants to think about more strategy, more technical intelligence, more marketing capability. And hey, great stuff, absolutely. But I think teamwork, it's hard work, which is why people don't always try and make it work, but it's an untapped superpower. Listen, whether or not you lead a team, if you are feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or just looking to grow, we want to encourage you, sign up for the Leadership Momentum Accelerator. You can do that at cttleadership.com or just check out the show notes for a link. For just $398, you're going to get 2 coaches focused on you, working through a tried and true framework for 70 minutes, a custom roadmap to help you overcome that, consulting access, accountability, and so much more for the following month. And we have seen this produce such amazing results that we will guarantee you will be satisfied with the service, or we'll hand you your money back. We're not kidding. It has been awesome. We feel on fire about it. So we have just 5 spots open at that $398 as we're kind of launching and rolling this out. We would love to join in that with you. Until next time, y'all, this is JC.
I'm James. See you next time. Peace. Thanks for watching Crossing the Threshold with James Wilson Jr. and JC Fowler. If this helped you take a step forward, like, subscribe, and share it with another mission-driven leader navigating their own threshold moment. Until next time, keep moving forward with courage